Hello and welcome back. We are on lesson 258, which says, "Let me remember that my goal is God." Now, we've spoke about this in previous lessons, and this now is something that I do every morning. I connect with God, creator, source, before I allow my mind to take over. Let me remember that my goal is God. When you wake up in the morning, you set the foundations for your day. Do it with God. Do it with the true nature of who you are. Do it with the source of where you come from. And I have to share a beautiful story because it's so beautiful. This morning I did this, and when I invited the creator, I can't remember what I said. I was like, I allow myself to connect with the creator or whatever I said. I can't remember what I said. And then I just saw, like, because it was all like pitch black with my eyes closed. And all of a sudden, I just saw all of this light and just this rainbow. So I was like just immersing myself into like a prism of light. And it just felt so divine and it felt so good. And for me, that is, and the feeling of love, peace, tranquility, bliss, like all of that in that moment. For me now, I believe that is my true nature because I've managed to connect to that place often, right? And there is nothing, like we have said before, outside of you that can help you connect to that place other than your your request, if you like, to connect to it. Like I commanded to connect to that part of me, the essence. I like commanded, if you like, to connect with God so that my mind didn't start, telling me all the things that I needed to do. Or, you know what it's like when you first get up, I've got to do this, got to do that. It gets wild before you even open your eyes in the morning. You're led that like, I don't want to face the day. But that's just the ego. That's the stories that the ego is creating and setting you up on wrong foundations for the day. Um, and so let me remember that my goal is God, is to remember that everything that you are seeking outside of you can be found by remembering your goal is God, that your goal is God. That wholeness that you want to feel, the thing that you think that the goal is going to get you, or the things that you're going to do throughout the day is going to get you, it's not. You can feel those things instantly when you wake up by remembering that your goal is God. And there's something that I wanted to share, another thing, because it says here a reminder that every desire for love, wealth, freedom, recognition is really a longing for the source behind it all. And I love that because it is. No achievement or relationship can give what only God, only love already is. When you remember this, the chase stops and peace begins. And I promise you, when you are anchoring back into that and starting your day every single day from that place, it looks completely different than if the ego was to create the day for you, right? You're tuning into the truth of who you really are. And therefore, that's the reality that you are seeing, sorry, not seeking. No distortions, no illusions, just the foundations of truth. And from that place, you then live the day. And because we continue to connect to this every single hour, it's your anchor point, right? We spoke about that before. This is your anchor point. And again, it's not, I'm sure this is the hour reflection, isn't it? But it's noticing. It's always noticing. Again, I said a couple of days ago, you cannot serve two masters. You cannot be on the bus and off the bus. You're either with God or you're not with God, right? So again, it's just anchoring us back into um remembering that our goal is God. That's it from me on this one.
Yes, exactly. So let me remember that my goal is God. I've always said, not always, but in my teachings of this, I say often that um that what we're seeking, that everything that everyone is seeking comes back to knowing our true nature, and our true nature is what is has been labeled God. Everything. Like when you are desperately seeking that loving partner, when you're desperately seeking that certain, financial wealth, when you're desperately seeking business success, friends, acceptance, whatever it is you're desperately seeking, you can trace back to, if you truly knew your where that desire traces back to. It is knowing your true nature as God, as love. It all comes back to a search for happiness and love, and that happiness and love is one with God and one with our true nature. That's the only place it actually exists. Like I've I don't know if I touched on it here. I feel like I have where I am pretty sure I have, where every time you feel that love, every time you feel that happiness, it is not a separate love or happiness. It is actually a moment where you have a glimpse of your true nature, right? And then it's like I use the sun and cloud analogies, right? So it's like you see the sun briefly, and then the clouds come back, creep back in, and then you're like, "Oh, now I need this new goal," or, "Now my husband's being annoying and not as romantic as he used to be. Now that I got the partner and I feel all the love, oh, well, now he's not being as romantic as he used to be. Now you don't feel as much love." It's like the clouds creep back in and cover up the sun again. But what happens is that we associate that happiness and love and joy with the thing that we achieve, keeping us in the cycle of illusion and separation, keeping us chasing these things that we associate with love and happiness and joy and abundance and all the things that come from God and come from our true nature. So ultimately, our goal only ever is God. And this lesson is an invitation to see that, to devote ourselves to that true goal, so that way we are not in that endless cycle, in that endless loop of feeling a moment of happiness, feeling a moment of love, and then suffering again and searching for the next shiny object. And as I always say, this doesn't mean that we don't get to have the worldly things. It just means that we recognize where the source of what we are seeking actually is, and we devote to that goal. So that way, to that truth and that goal. So that way, everything in our reality becomes a reflection of that instead of misplaced as the source of that. So the prayer is our goal is but to follow the way that leads to you. We have no goal but this. What could we want but to remember you? What could we seek but our identity? And it's a capitalized I because there's only one identity which we all share. Our true nature is God. And before I pass it back to Sammy, I just want to give my little weekly reminder of don't forget that you are to listen to the or watch or remind yourself or read the theme every day and sit in meditation on the theme and then spend a good amount of time with the lesson or declaration in the morning and in the evening and then utilize it and remind yourself of it every hour. Sammy?
Thank you. And yeah, the theme for this one is what is sin. And what's coming through for me on this lesson is seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. What I have noticed recently is people want from a place of lack, right? And this is why we then don't feel fulfilled, because what we're actually, like Karina said, is seeking our true essence, our true nature. So once we connect to that place, everything then becomes a reflection of that, and we are receiving the things that we desire from a place of wholeness, not to get to feel, but because we feel, we get to have, as an extension, as an expression of who we really are. And I am so grateful for this level of awareness, because I truly believe that if I would have built success not understanding these foundations, I would have felt hollow. I wouldn't have felt fulfilled. But knowing this now and knowing who I have become, and as a result of everything that we've learned in this course, I know that I get to have it as a divine extension and expression of who I am. Like everything that I desire, I know I'm going to get. I know that because I desire it. And so therefore it has to be mine, right? Not ego desire, but as a, like Karina said before, the candy shop, the pizza oven, the ice cream parlor, whatever that is, it's no longer from a place of lack. It's from a place of fulfillment, knowing that I get to experience, and it's so much different. So You cannot do any wrong by seeking God within you first and then taking action or living your life from that place, because it's from a place of wholeness. So then you're not seeking to take from the 3D world, right? We should never be doing things to get. We should be doing things because they are overflowing from within us and are an extension of us. Because if you're doing something to get something, then you're an ego, because you don't need to get when you're already whole. When you already have access to everything that you could possibly ever want, your true nature, your godlike nature, you don't need anything outside of you. So if you find yourself doing things to get something, you've fallen out of your godlike nature. And it can, yes, we do things to receive, but like I said, not from a place of lack, from a place of already being fulfilled within. Do you have anything else to add? No, that's it for this lesson. I keep calling them lessons. That's okay, isn't it? Yeah. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Bye.